Good morning, Katy.
Hi, Ron. How are you?
I'm good. Here's your image. Your image wasn't there when I said good morning to you. Oh, wait a minute now. The connection between you is too slow for good video.
Oh, no.
That's what it's saying. Although some of the times that I do the ones with Aristo, we don't always have a good connection either, but we show them anyway. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go ahead with it. I see your image, and I can see me talking. It's 5 a.m. my time, and I guess 10 a.m. your time. And are you in Bristol?
I am Bristol, United
Bristol
Kingdom.
United Kingdom, right. This is Katy West, folks. And, it's interesting, Katy, that I got an email from one of my lady listeners who used to live in Pennsylvania. I think she's in New Hampshire now. But
Yeah.
she was saying, Ron, I forward a lot of your videos to my friends, and the question keeps coming up, why don't you have more women on? And we actually did a video back in June last year. It was recorded on the 24th and aired on the 25th, as I indicated to you in the little thing that I sent you when we were messaging each other. Mm. And it was interesting that I had you scheduled for today when she's suggesting that. So it's perfect timing, the synchronicity of everything.
I love it.
But anyway, I just want to say to the folks that you are the founder of the Group of One.
Yeah.
And that's groupofone.ning.com or just groupofone.org, because that's what I use to.
Yeah, .org. .org is the one I tend to go for, because then everybody will get to the right group. Because there's two at the moment. There's sort of two running side by side. Because I'm the old one, which is the one I've been working on for like 3 years or so. I've set up a new one, which is more of a forum base for people that really want to get into discussions. And there's a lot of old email addresses and everything attached to the old one. And not just that, Ning are upgrading all their websites as well to a new plan. So eventually that one will be, I don't know what's going to happen, integrated or something. I really don't understand the technical bits, Rob. It's all very confusing.
Well, I'm not really into the technical stuff very much myself, but I did watch the video that you suggested, The Paradox of Oneness, and I have here on my other computer that sits right next to the one we're recording on, a thing about the Group of One, and I absolutely love your quote there. We are one humanity on this planet. All life is interconnected and interdependent. All share in the universal bond of love. Love begins with self-acceptance and forgiveness. With respect and compassion, we embrace diversity. Together, we make a difference through love. I really like that. And today, I know you wanted to talk about unconditional love, so I'm going to set you free and let you talk. And I might have a question or two here and there, but tell us what you're all about and what your vision is, and share with us, please.
Well, first of all, I'd just like to say that bit that you read out was actually written by Harold Becker, who's founder and president of the Love Foundation over in America. Actually, not far from you, I don't think. And the Love Foundation work in collaboration with the Group of One, inspiring people to love unconditionally. So it's really about loving ourselves unconditionally first.
We can't do it the other way.
That's right. That's right.
We can only give we can only give to others what we give to ourselves first.
Exactly. So it's when I wrote to you and we were writing, and I said about talking about our relationship, Ron, you and me. I love you absolutely 100% unconditionally. Absolutely, totally accept you for you. I just look at you and I see myself, just you just being who you are, and you know, finding out who you are. At the same time, I'm finding out more and more every day who I am. But I don't know you. I don't know you as a person. I've not, you know, walked by you side by side, sort of every step of your life. Yet, you know, right now I can say that, you know, that as how can I say it? By loving, accepting myself, totally letting go of who I thought I was or who society thought I was. For the most part of my life, I've had, you'll never amount to anything, you won't be good enough, because I didn't have all those, I didn't tick all the boxes of what a perfect person should be. And in the not being having all those boxes ticked, I actually thought, actually, hold on a minute, I am perfect. I'm perfect for me. I'm not, you know, it's not about being like anybody else. It's about just being okay with being me. And also what comes with loving myself unconditionally is any physical things that happen with me, I just allow the body to naturally heal itself. And that sometimes can be it can be sort of not difficult for me to do that, because I can do that quite easily now. But the difficulties I've had doing that around other people is because they've not understood what I'm doing. I think I mentioned in a previous, well, I say previous video with you, we've already done one. I feel like we've done loads. Is, you know, sort of years ago, I couldn't say to people my DNA's upgrading. They would have just looked at me weirdly, or, you know, I would have been carted straight off to the mental hospital. But that's basically, I knew sort of years ago that that's what was happening. There's a lot of changes going on in the world, but one of the biggest changes that is happening is that we are, as human beings, we are changing, we are evolving into a new human, I suppose.
You know, transmutation of our DNA going on, most assuredly.
Yeah, yeah, and it's fantastic that if I was somebody that didn't know what was going on, I'd be very, very scared right now. Very scared, not understanding, you know, all the sort of changes that are going on within the body. But it's natural, it's totally natural for it to happen. So again, the unconditional love is loving myself, and also when I talk to myself, my voice is the voice of God talking to my cells. So I'm always telling myself how beautiful I am, you know, how God universe speaks to me is how I talk to my body, because, you know, it's all the same one thing anyway. So
it sounds like you and I are on the same page in that regard. I do the exact same thing. Which is why people don't believe me sometimes when I tell them how old I am, although sometimes I feel that old.
I won't ask, Ron.
67.
Oh, that was the year I was born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so for me it's so loving, the more I love myself unconditionally, the more I'm at peace with myself. So it's a step forward towards peace, being peaceful within. And also what's happened along the line is I've found that I can't be around many people. I've become more of a, I suppose, well, it seems like I've sort of become a recluse, but it's not, it's through not being around, how can I put it, I can only be around like-minded people that understand me, and people that, yes, people that
aren't you a barber?
I am, yes.
Then how do you stay around? I mean, do you pre-select all your clients based on their based on where they are in their psychology and spirituality?
Well, that's interesting. Well, I've actually I've reduced my days down to 3 days a week because I can't do full time in there, because it does actually being around too many. It's being around the spoken word, people talking. I've just spent a couple of days with some fantastic friends, but they do love to talk, and quite often I tried to instigate a 10-minute silence just so I could just be in their company and just have silence, but it lasted 1 minute, I think, when we tried it.
We do so like to talk.
Talk. I think it's quite important actually to be able to just be silent just for 10 minutes or so every day, and just sort of sit and just be and just allow the body to just, you know, align itself, whatever alignment that person's in their moment, but just align itself so it can just then come back into the present.
I know before my family moved in, I used to have a lot more time for my silence. With 3 grandchildren living in the house with me, plus my daughter and her husband, silence is a lot harder to come by these days.
Yeah, it can be, but it's interesting. But also, when with regards to my video that I did, that was based on a theory that I came up with in 2006. But the more I'm following the flow of me and what's right for me, following my feelings, so to speak, as I said, the more I'm finding that peace within, and the more I'm finding that peace within, the more I'm actually sending out a vibration, because however I feel, truly feel, attracts an experience to match it, because I'm vibrational energy. So if
Sounds
I'm
like
feeling...
Abraham teaching.
Is it? Okay, I don't. Okay. Well, we are all one, so. Yeah, so basically, I, yeah, sending out that peaceful vibration. Well, I'm not actually consciously sending it out. I am sending it out. It's not something that I'm choosing, oh, I'm sending this out. It's just being it. I'm doing it.
Well, by being authentic, you're automatically doing it. Some people mistake that teaching for, I can only think happy thoughts, because if I feel bad or sad or angry or any so-called negative emotion, then I'm sending out a bad vibration, and you're not being authentic when you're trying to cover that up.
That's right.
Would you agree with that or not?
No, I definitely agree with it. That's sort of loving the self with conditions. That's not unconditional love. That's not just something. Yeah.
Yeah. Unconditional love means I am what I am. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, and everything in between. I'm all of this and more.
Yeah. The dark, the light, I'm all of it. You know, a friend of mine was talking to me ages ago about ego, and I said I love my ego. That sent him into a right frenzy, because he'd been, you know, around so many sort of people that say about, oh, get rid of your ego. Well, why? I don't understand why one would want to get rid of a part of oneself. You know, I mean, well, you can't actually get rid of it anyway. You can only pretend. You can only sort of think.
That's right, and then you're inauthentic.
Yeah.
As soon as you go into the pretend mode, you're not being authentic.
Exactly. I find it all very confusing, Ron. Honestly, when I so often when I see a video, it's like whenever I used to post loads of videos on the old Group of One, or read an article or something that I feel, you know, resonates with me. If it resonates with me, it resonates with someone else. I have to proofread and proof watch every video before I send it out, because there's so much information out there that's not, how can I put it? It's not, well, it doesn't resonate with me, let's put it that way.
And resonance is really important. That's part of our guidance system.
Exactly, yeah. It's my feelings. I only do what feels right for me in every single given moment. No matter who's around, where I am, doesn't matter. If it feels right for me, then it's the right choice for me. And again, my choices are never someone else's right choices. Unless, of course, they are, unless, somebody else resonates as well. But, and that's sort of where it is. So my feelings are what resonates outwards. Well, it comes in, goes out, but I just follow it. Because I know, because my feelings are connected to all that is, that I am being guided into a particular place. I was chatting to another friend of mine, and I said it's a bit like I have to step onto the unknown steps in order to get to the known step. So quite often I don't know why my feelings are telling me to go a certain way, but I do know that I will end up on a step which I go, aha, that's why I had to do all that. So and that at first was quite an interesting thing, whilst I was sort of still testing that out. But now I just do it, and it's like so normal. It's it's not something I really mention anymore, but I just sort of get on and do it. So just going with the flow of life, and that's quite interesting, because so many people say to me, "Oh, you're always really busy. You're always doing something." Well, I'm always following my flow, basically. It just seems like, for a lot of people, it seems like I'm going all over the place, but no, it's just, just going with the flow of life.
I think you're really, from what you're sharing to me, it really is unconditional love. I mean, you that's exactly what topic you wanted to address, and you're demonstrating it by being the authentic Katy West, and saying, this is how I live my life. And I'd like to encourage everyone to follow your example, because we'd all be better off if more of us would do that.
Yeah. It's I encourage all my friends and family to only do what feels right for them. And they normally say, what, regardless of what you think? And I said, yes, exactly, regardless. I said, because I know what you're doing. I know that's what you're doing. So, and I fully accept that you are following your flow. So therefore, and you're just taking yourself into the next grandest vision, the grandest version of the greatest vision you ever held about yourself. So you are actually going with your flow. You're at the right place at the right time for you by following your flow. And because I understand that, I can accept that, because I do it. I am not the sort of person that says, do as I say, not do as I do.
You don't should on people?
Sorry?
You don't should on people?
No.
Not too often anyway?
No, I don't like that word. Should and try are two words I really don't. As Yoda said, was it? Do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Yoda. Yeah, no, I really don't. I'll probably say I could, but not a should.
Yeah, well, we should on ourselves too, and that's one of the issues that we have in trying to live this authentic life. We've been programmed with a certain set of rules, and the inner cop, they carefully created an inner cop within each of us. Sometimes it's a separate ego that wants to follow the rules and doesn't want to be authentic. And that's the part of the ego that gets us in trouble and makes us our own worst enemy sometimes. But we should on ourselves, and we listen to that one on our left shoulder, that little demon on our left shoulder, to the little angel on our right shoulder. And actually, we need to listen to both of them, but we need to identify them and be able to make conscious decisions instead of being driven only by one or the other. It's to balance.
But yes, as you're talking about the okay, let's just call it the mind and the heart. Then let's just say the mind and the heart.
That works for me.
Yeah, the heart. So I actually had a conversation again with somebody else recently about this, and they were saying that, you know, they opened their heart and everything was going smoothly. Then all of a sudden the mind kicked in and they went back into their mind and they totally forgot, you know, it's like they were going from one experience to another and they totally forgot who they were and they didn't understand what was going on. And I said, well, basically that's 100% natural, and I'm pleased that happened to you, because, and I said, if anybody says to you, you know, to get out of your mind, just, you know, tell them very politely to go forth and multiply. Go forth and multiply. That's my polite way of saying it. I said, because you're following your flow, and even if your flow is going back into your mind, I said, you have, you know, for me, I went back into my mind occasionally because my mind sort of protected me, because totally opening my heart and following my heart and loving everything, all things unconditionally is a really scary experience. If someone's, I mean, I'd never experienced that before, so for me it was an incredibly scary thought. I knew it was going to happen, it just felt right that was what was going to happen. But actually stepping into that experience was very frightening, because you know, again, what are people going to think of me? But, you know, so I encourage, I say to all my friends that have talked to me about this subject, it's good that you're in your mind. I said, because it's all about, at the end of the day, this duality, reality, or whatever it's called, it's all about comparisons. And so it's about living in one space in order to know what the other one's like. So in this, the transitional sort of awakening period, it's going from like, remembering, forgetting, remembering, forgetting, remembering, forgetting. But what I notice with my journey is that the moments of forgetting, the more I experienced remembering, forgetting, the actual forgetting got smaller and smaller. So I'd remember more and forget more. Yeah, I remember more and forget less.
I know what you mean.
To a point that I stopped forgetting, and now I just remember. It's like a, you know, it's like anything, isn't it? It's like the evolution of anything. It's like the layers break away, and you'll just end up with what is.
Well, too many people want a flatline experience, but in medical technology, that's called death. They don't want all the peaks and the valleys, but that's called life.
Yeah, and it's called patience as well. Yeah, because, you know, from my, I believe everything happens at the right time for it to happen, and there's basically, we're just sort of given tools on how to manage it all, and patience is one thing many people find very difficult, and it's in their patience they get incredibly frustrated, and then in their frustrations they get angry, and then it can turn to aggression and all that sort of thing, or other ways people express frustration. But that's
the problem with anger. Sometimes it does go into violence, and that's where it goes overboard. But a lot of that, I think, is because people don't accept their anger as a natural feeling. when faced with injustices, for example.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And also the frustration lies with not being understood by others. That was mainly my frustrations when I look back. Not being people didn't understand me, and used to find it difficult trying to communicate things because of how conditioned people have been conditioned to be. That there's, as you said, there's rules. There's certain rules that how a human being should be. So I used to be I never used to really tell anyone because people throw all these things at me, and it's like, I don't want help. I just want to be understood.
Yeah, I find even in my circle of friends, there's many of my friends that I do not yet feel understand where I'm coming from. They want to fix me and make me less negative, as they would see it.
How can you fix it?
And I think I'm really positive because I own my stuff.
Yeah. How can you fix something that's not broken, eh, Ron? Exactly.
I just had a friend tell me recently, I realize we both want the same thing, but we just have a different way of going about it. And she says, I just have to let you be you. And I said, yeah, I got the same revelation that you got. We do both want the same thing. We want a world that works better for everybody.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I mean, how I see it is everyone in the world, nobody's broken. Nobody's broken in the world. They just believe they are because they're not like the person to their left. Or, they're not like the person to the right. But everyone's perfect just the way they are and exactly how they are in this moment of now. Just being who they are. And it's just I think understanding that we are all different. We're all each person is a creator of their own reality. Like, for example, a lot of the things you talk about, Ron, the sort of global things and all the things that are going on in the world. Now, unless I turn my computer on and think, oh, what's Ron up to today? Because sometimes I do that. Oh, what's I'll go and say hello to Ron. Hello, Ron. And I'll listen to what you're talking about. I think, oh, that's what's happening in your reality. It's not mine. It's not what I, it doesn't come to me. The universe hasn't brought all that information to me. So therefore, it's not my stuff. It's yours because it's your reality. But that doesn't make it wrong for you. It's right for you. It's right for, it's right for you. But it's no right and wrong here. It's not what's true and what's not true. It's true for you. And as long as it's true for you, and then that. I don't understand why people just don't live and let live. Allow people to be who they are. Allow people to find them. Just allow people, accept people for who they are.
Like Harold Becker said in that one line, with respect and compassion, we embrace each other. Or we embrace diversity, I should say.
Yeah.
I read it wrong. But we embrace each other and our diversity.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway, I'm really glad that we made another connection.
Yes.
And another video together.
Yeah.
You surprised me. I had forgotten that when we did our last video, you didn't know it was going to go online.
No, that's fine. No.
Yeah, and you reminded me of that, and I had totally forgotten because almost any Skype call all Skype calls that I do are recorded. Now I don't save them all, but I do. They all automatically get recorded. That's just how it works. And usually when I'm having a conversation with someone, it's for the purpose of actually sharing it with the world through my YouTube channel, Facebook page. So anyway, that was sort of surprising when you reminded me that you didn't know that it was going to go online, and you shared with the world. You approved of it, of course. You said okay. But anyway, I'm glad we have had another conversation, and I need to take, I guess, that lady's advice and make sure that I have at least a couple of ladies every month that I do a conversation with, so that the ladies don't feel that it's just a male thing.
Yeah.
It's really not, and I feel like I'm very much in touch with my feminine most of the time, not all of the time. But anyway, closing comments from Katy.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, ultimately, we are no gender. Anyway, we're two spiritual beings having a chat.
Yeah, it's true. But I am very happy that there are genders, though. Viva la difference, la difference.
Yeah.
You know, it makes life more interesting that way than if we were all the same.
Yeah, I suppose if I had a quick little message to the world, I would just say to each and every person on the planet, stop beating yourselves up.
That's good advice. I wonder how many people can actually keep it.
I know.
Because we've been so well trained with the inner critic and the inner cop to do exactly what you're saying, stop it.
But then again, that's another conversation in itself. If it feels right to beat yourself up, then carry on. I'll still love them unconditionally. It's not about it's not about me. It's about the individual and what they believe about themselves. So.
Yeah, we're all going to the same destination, and if we stop beating ourselves up, the journey will be a lot more pleasant.
Yeah. But if somebody does want to sort of talk or I don't know, get in touch with me, group1.org. We're on there. It's not just me. There's quite a few supportive people that share the same, that love unconditionally and are finding out more about how to love themselves and each other unconditionally on there. Obviously in the Love Foundation as well.
So that's a group of one. I'll actually put the link in the blurb so that people can connect with you, and I'll also put the link to your video, the
Paradox of Oneness.
Paradox of Oneness.
Oh, bless you.
Real short. It's only 5.5 minutes long.
Yeah.
So, Katy, thank you again for another wonderful conversation, and I hope you have a beautiful day today. And this will be aired. It'll go up at midnight my time, which is
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock your time. 5 a.m. your time.
5 a.m.
Yeah, it'll already be 5 a.m. So thank you.
Thank you, Ron. I love you.
Thank you, Katy. Bye bye now.
Bye bye.